sisters, welcome to episode 2 of Great Sisters. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Listen, y'all, I am so excited. I have with me my best friend, my girl, my sister. We've known each other, what, 20?
It's a little more than 20 now, but it's definitely hit the 20.
Because we 30 now, so 20 plus. We're just going to say 20 plus.
20
and
plus.
we're going to leave it at that. You guys, this is my girl. She agreed to come on the show. Thank you for joining me.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here.
Listen, let me tell y'all about this girl. I'm going to give her flowers before we start. And she probably going to blush a little bit.
I already am.
Okay, because she a little bright. So she going to blush a little bit. Jessica is an amazing support, like an awesome friend. I truly appreciate her. She's just so special in my life, and she's one of those friends I can just count on. We prayed together, we cried together.
Yes.
She's real with me. She don't sugarcoat nothing she says. She's very blunt, and she gonna tell me like it is. So you need those type of sisters in your life, and y'all know you don't need nobody that's gonna tell you what you want to hear. I know she's gonna tell me what it is and what it's not. Okay, and you all, she's an educator. She's currently working on her master's degree. I am so godly proud of her, y'all. Let's give her some kudos. Let's hype her up.
I might be done by the time this episode come out. You never know.
You know what? I think she might be done by the time. What you trying to say? You trying to say, hey, I'll procrastinate?
I don't know. Next week is a wrap. So August 5th, we about to be done.
Says, I am beyond proud of you. You inspire me like no other. I just want you to know that. If you didn't know, I love you.
Love you too.
So we're going to get into the juicy juice. And you know, this is going to be a conversation. We're just going to keep it real. And y'all are here. The camera is here. But we just want y'all to join into the conversation and just be inspired and encouraged by just the conversation, because just having good sisters in your life is needed.
It is.
I just wanted to get into it.
Lord, here we go.
What? See, why? Now y'all, she's sweating because I told her that I had a few questions on my spirit now that I was gonna ask her. But you know, it's just we just gonna go back and forth. We just gonna have a good time.
We're gonna have a good time, y'all.
We're gonna have a good time. Don't be tense now.
I'm not gonna be
Don't
tense.
Be
I'm
tense
good.
now.
I'm
now
good.
That the camera here.
I'm good.
Now that the camera here, girl. Woosah.
Woosah.
Okay. Now let me go because I ain't got no glasses on. Let me get into these questions now. Y'all don't talk about me if I'm squinting over here.
We trying to be cute. I don't have glasses on either. We trying to be cute.
Let's just talk about this. Let's just get real now. This is the very first thing. Our relationship as best friends, right? Because you tell me how it is. You tell me the real.
Right.
You don't sugarcoat nothing, and I appreciate that about you. What do you value most about our relationship? And what's one thing that as a best friend you feel like we can improve on to help each other? But what do you value most?
I'm about to say this
ain't no
deep,
SAT.
Man,
this ain't no
already.
SAT. You ain't got to give a paragraph, but
okay, I'm not gonna give a paragraph. What I value the most is sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
We had our sleepovers, our tea parties, our hangouts. Yes. It's just a blessing. Our moms allowed us to continue just to hang out over the years, because both of our moms are very protective.
Yes.
So it's very good to have that at least one friend that has stayed throughout the ages.
Y'all, Miss Williams don't play. Hey,
she don't.
Hey.
My mama don't. So I just appreciate that it's continued to like age. I hate to say like a cheese, but age it has, and then it gets better with time, cheese. Right? Like a fine wine. Yes, so it just gets better, and it has evolved, and I appreciate that we both recognize, okay, maybe we need to switch up the friendship a little bit.
Right.
We don't let it get stale.
And you know, one of the things I appreciate about you, it's one of those friendships where, you know, you have friendships where you can pick up where you left off. I think that that is just what's so solid about who you are. It's not, you know, we can always pick up where we left off.
Yeah. And
that's the beauty about our relationship. And what's one thing you would change? Now, we being real here, y'all. And Jessica, she ain't gonna hold back, and she ain't gonna lie either. So
my God, change. I don't like saying what people should change. Because to me, if you being the best friend you could possibly be,
I'm open.
I hear what you say.
What would you
That's
like to
enough
see more
for me.
of? What would you like to see more of in our relationship?
Okay,
I'll
I
put
would
it
say
that
this.
way.
I would like a couple more girl trips, like going somewhere.
Yes.
But the pandemic hit, so like finally when I was getting a little more money, able to do some things, it's like the pandemic hit. But I would like some more girls trips and like leaving and going somewhere, because I know I go with you and we would want to do the same things while we're there. Right. Because everybody, you can't go on a trip, and it's not even about doing like everybody just don't likes the same things. When you go on a trip, you want to do what you want to do, and I want someone to go with me that would do what I want to do, and I want to do what they want to do. So I think I would like a couple more girl trips.
I agree. But you know what? One thing was for us, this season was a focused season. So I don't really take anything from it. I have no regrets. Yeah, you see people, traveling and stuff like that. That's why you got to be solid in who you are and not compare yourself to social media, because what a lot of people do is they say, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to do that and do this. But when
wasn't in the cards for us.
Right. When you're in a focused season, you sacrifice now for greater later. Yeah. And that's what I really appreciate about
that we understand that about each other, that we wanted it, but we knew it just wasn't the time to do it. But that if I had to say something, I wish we could have taken maybe a couple of trips, but at the same time, we just been both grinding and doing our thing. And
but we still young. We still young. We got
time.
Girl.
We got time.
We gonna plan those trips. This is a good one. So this is Grace Sisters. So we're gonna talk about your grace story, or your moment in life where you either extended grace to someone, you needed grace, or you found grace. And what I mean by that is we all have a story where you go through something and you're like, I just need a little time for someone to see me. I just need a little encouragement. Or you saw someone going through, and right in that moment you extended grace to them, and they didn't even know they needed it. Can you think of a time where it was just that? It was just grace.
Just grace. Oh, wow. This is definitely a great and deep question. She knows I'm a deep thinker. I'm trying not to go there, y'all, but that's just how I am. But I feel like as a teacher, I extend grace all the time and every day. Yeah. But in order to extend grace, I have to be emotionally in tune with who's around me. You can't extend grace if you don't know what's going on with the person, right? So I've tried to work on over the years. She knows about this about me. I'm not always have been the most empathetic, right? So I've learned to kind of be more empathetic and sense what's going on with people, so I can give that grace. But I definitely know people have extended grace to me over and over and over. But when I first think of that, I think of my students and how as teachers we have to extend grace. But that's just the first thing on top of my head. But I'll be honest, like extending grace is something I have to work on. I'm not gonna act like it isn't, because it is. But I'm working on being more empathetic and extending grace, and realize people don't think the way I think.
And they don't.
Everybody don't think the way I think. And that was something I struggled with in my 20s. I would say to mid-20s, but mid-20s to now, I've learned to kind of switch that off. And like you said, in my mind and to others, extend that grace. So, yeah.
Right. And one thing I love about Jessica is she doesn't allow anyone around her to influence the choices she makes. And that's where we are the same. That's where we are alike. And I think it's just so beautiful, because when you know who you are, you're going to do what you got to do. And you're not going to care what anybody thinks, and you're going to get it done. And that's the beautiful thing about her. And that's why she's just progressing in life. It's just beautiful, y'all.
Thanks, sis.
So now we're going to move on to something else. So Jessica is in ministry.
Yes.
And a lot of people, not everyone knows what a minister is, what an elder is. Mm-hmm. And I'm not making this like churchy, but it just attests to who she is as a person. What are some of the misconceptions about being in ministry, especially as like in our generation? Listen, it's not popular at this moment to live a life that is pleasing.
It's not
popular. So when we go there, we may lose some listeners, and that's okay, because it's who we are, and we're not going to change or water down or dilute who we are and called to be in the earth. So Jessica's in ministry. She preaches, she teaches. But she's so much more than that. So I want to come from her. You know, what are some of the misconceptions? Because the moment you say you an elder, the moment you say you a minister, the moment you say you in church and you preach, people already have this preconceived notion that she can't do this, she a prude, she boring.
Well, don't give away all my answers.
I'm just telling you how other people would perceive you, like, and you can agree, right? Like,
that's what I was gonna start with. I don't know how to have fun. That's automatically the first thing that comes to my mind.
And how has that affected your friendships, like your sisterhoods? Like, how has that affected along the way?
All in the business today, all up in the business.
How has that affected just how people view you as a person? Okay. Because I know it can be very heavy. Like, speak to that.
Okay, so as she said, I'm an elder in the church. I just came an elder last year, and I was a minister before that.
And explain to some people what an elder is. Right. Some people, they think elder is like old, like 50, 60. You know, some people, not everybody.
Okay, a lot of people are old. Elders are old. But it's more so like, you've like, I had to wait 3 years before I could become an elder. So it's just saying you've spent some time in the ministry and you've developing your gift. So you're allowed to, because elders are in the Bible, talking about the elders of the church. So you're just considered a leader. It's basically another word for leader in the church. Someone that people can look to, that people can go for prayer. You're just considered a leader. So I just consider myself a leader in the church. But like Kay was saying, like, the biggest misconception is I don't like to have fun and I'm stuffy. Like, that's immediately what people think. Like, even at work, I'm not always quick to tell people that, because people kind of really just can misread you. And it's not that I'm hiding who I am, because first off, I work in education, so there's separation of church and state. So I'm not always quick to share that information, because really you're not supposed to. But of course, who I am is always going to come out. So people figure it out a lot of times anyway. And it's like, they look at you and I'm like, yeah, you got it right. So I can't hide who I am, so I don't try to, but I'm not always quick to put it out, because I want people to get to know me first. And honestly, I feel like people consider it a mask I wear. That I wear this elder mask and like I take it on and off, and to me it's always on. It's just in different arenas I may look a different way, but I'm still, to me, I'm elder wherever I go. It's not a mask for me. For some people, it is a mask. Here I go getting deep, but that's true. For people, some people, it's a mask. I don't wear it as a mask. I just consider it as part of my calling, who I am and who God has created me to be. I love people, I love ministry, and I love serving the Lord. It's just a title I happen to have doing it.
Right. And like I said, I really want to get into kind of, you've chosen to live a different life.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can feel like isolation, because I've had moments where I felt torn in friendships.
Yeah.
Because when you have a friendship or a sisterhood, either she's pulling you one way, you're pulling her one way, or you're both stagnant.
Right.
And, you know, you have to decipher those relationships. You have to steward those relationships well. Yeah. Because when you choose to live a different life, there's some places you just can't go. And it's places you know you don't fit into. Because I've gone to parties and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I know good well. I stuck out like a sore thumb, because I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to be here. And there's nothing wrong with parties, but when you choose a certain lifestyle and you hold yourself to a certain standard. Yeah. When there's a grace on your life, great sisters, when there's a grace on your life, you have a greater purpose. There's just some things you can't do. And it's not saying you can't live.
The parties is one of them. I mean, I went to Regent, so the parties weren't like that, but I still like to get on the dance floor. But now I feel awkward doing it, because everybody know I'm an elder in the church. They be looking at me and I'm like, let me just go sit on the wall.
What is that?
And not do nothing today. Like,
and what is that? Why do they feel like you as an elder can't have fun? You can't enjoy life. I think it's a stigma.
It's a stigma, and I would say /standard that people put on you, but they're not going to put on themselves, okay? So I deal with that a lot. People expect me to live a certain way, but if I talk to them about it, no, it's not. No, that's you picked that. So like you said, it is kind of a stigma, but I've just learned to accept it. Like, you know, I think I say, if you don't want it, don't want it. If you do want it, do want it. Like, don't pick this and then this is not what you really want to do. Because being a minister or in the church, like, that's, like, to me, that's something I take very seriously. And I don't always take because if you see me preach, I'm always joking, laughing, telling a story, because I don't take myself myself that seriously as far as like how I'm supposed to preach, because then you're not relatable. I want to be relatable when I preach, and then I reach more people. But like you said, it has a stigma, and certain things, people, they tell me, you're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, okay. Because some people can't. And then here's the thing, though. You just have to know and have the grace to know.
Right.
You just can't tell everybody certain things you do. And it's
Right.
not that I'm hiding it, but they just can't. They're at a certain level of faith where, like, you're a leader. They see you as this leader. And my leader can't do that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, baby Christians especially, they're figuring it out. So I don't always share where I'm at and where I'm going. And I'm just a private person anyway, as she can tell you.
Right.
I just don't tell my business like that. But I've just learned, you just got to be careful, because you're around baby Christians, people that have been saved a little bit, been saved a long time. And sometimes those people that have been saved a long time think you shouldn't do certain things. Some people would think I shouldn't have this dress on with sleeveless. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm not. I wouldn't wear this in the pulpit, but I'm not in the pulpit right now. I'm hanging with my friend, having a good time. Mm-hmm. So you got to learn what's good for you, and just know where you are, the expectations, and then just follow through. Like, I mean, on your job, you have expectations. So it's just, to me, another job, and I have expectations, and I follow them. That's all. I don't let it be a burden. Some people make it a burden. I'm like, no, I'm not. My dad, who's the associate pastor, he had a quote. He put, "My stress is not your stress." As far as ministry is concerned, amen. My stress is not your stress concerning how I should be a minister.
That's true.
I let the Lord lead me and guide me.
So, like I said, I want to reach. We won't be putting Grace Sisters in a box. So I definitely want to reach women who. Even if you're not a believer, like, we all have grace on our life. We all have purpose.
Yeah.
And we all have a moment in our life where we know we're supposed to do something greater. Mm-hmm. What is your grace moment once again? Like, when did you realize, okay, there's a purpose on my life. I'm not that I'm better than everyone else.
Right.
But there's a specific thing that I'm supposed to do. There's a goal that I'm striving for to make an impact on earth.
Okay. And again, she knows this about me. I'm a very goal-oriented person, okay? Mm-hmm. I knew in 3rd grade I was going to be a teacher. Okay, I'm the oldest of 3, and I always remember doing a lot of games where I'm telling somebody something, right? I'm always telling my toys what to do, or trying to teach them something.
Did you pass them some papers?
I don't think I did all that, but I definitely was talking a lot to them. And I always love kids, even when I'm a kid. Like, right. I wanted to work with other kids. Right. Like, but you're a kid yourself. Like, my mom would take us to the library during the summer, and I would volunteer with the younger kids, help them with arts and crafts at the library. Like, I just always was doing or being around what I knew innately I was going to do. Okay, so then I get to high school. I'm good at school, but it's like, okay, well, what do I want to do? So I did music too, but I wasn't great at it. I said I could be a music teacher, but right. I'm not great at it. And I feel like as a teacher, you should be a little bit great at it. I thought about being a high school English teacher. I thought about doing high school math, but I was like, I'm only 5 feet. That probably won't be the best thing. And then I was like,
5 feet got to do with your math.
I just didn't feel like being combating with my child at that age group. So I was like, you know what? I can do elementary education. So that's what I decided. So again, it was always something I was always doing and drawn to. So that's what, and then I did bring church in, but I did children's choir, worked on the youth team, and so I just always around people's children.
Right. And you knew that was your purpose. And I often say, like, even when I was younger, I remember people coming to me for advice. Mm-hmm. And it ain't got nothing to do with me knowing it all or being a counselor, but certain people, they just draw to me and ask for advice. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, there's a calling, there's a purpose connected to this, to who I am. There's a grace on my life to be a comfort to people, right? Yeah, to be an encouragement to people. And when you find that purpose in your life, you feel so secure. You feel so at peace, because you're like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be here to do. Because we all have something that we're meant to do, that we're called to do. Yeah. You were not born for no reason, just any old reason. Like, there's a calling on your life.
There's a purpose you have. There's a reason why you're here. And I've heard this said more than one time, like, whatever makes you itch, or whatever makes you upset, or whatever like makes you like, oh, I wish I could change that. More than likely you are supposed to change that. And I've heard that more than one time. So we definitely all have purpose why we are here.
Right, right. So we're gonna get a little personal.
Okay, let's go. All right, look.
So my best friend don't mind me mentioning this. Jessica is single.
Okay, no, I don't. That's fine.
I ain't warned her about any of these questions, y'all.
She did. That's why I'm looking like y'all. Like, what she about to say?
I ain't gonna get too deep because I know your constituents may be watching this, your associates, your ministerial partners and stuff like that.
She said ministerial partners. Okay.
But so I know you're single, and there may be some single women out here just trying to do right, and being a woman of faith.
Okay.
Trying to keep yourself.
Oh, okay. Don't want this. Okay.
She told me you were bracing yourself. You was like, "What's she about to say? My mama gonna watch this." I ain't gonna get too deep, but you can help someone. That is the purpose of this podcast. It's just to help other women.
Yes, of course.
Just be real. Like, what are some of the things you would tell other women who are trying to live a life that is just pure, like not perfect, because no one's perfect.
No one's perfect. No.
Just a pure life to saying, I'm focused on my career. I'm focused on my goals. I'm focused on my relationship with God. I'm focused on faith. Like, I got things that I need to get done. And if a young man comes along, then he comes along. Right. If I'm found while I'm working, then I'm found while I'm working. But how do you keep your head focused on not giving into temptation?
Okay. All right. So first thing I'll say is know your limitations. Know what you can handle. I'll be transparent. I don't watch movies with sex in them because, again, that's just putting that in front of me.
Right.
Again, that's my personal choice. That's just something I know I have to do. I'm a visual person, so I know I can't be stimulated with a lot of images like that. Like, I just can't, because then you think about it. So I know me. So you have to know you too. You gotta know what you can handle, what you can't handle. So that's definitely one thing I would say first. Know your limitations.
Right.
And as far as like I had a list, but the list is a flex list. I call it a flex list, okay? Right. It's certain things that are non-negotiables and certain things that are not non-negotiables.
Right.
And if you are not fitting the not non-negotiables, then automatically I take you off. Okay? So I've saved myself. Also, I'm also a person, once I'm in, I'm all in.
Right.
Everybody not like me. I'm the type of person, she knows, I love hard.
Right.
So I knew for my own sanity.
A lot of us do. And listen, ladies, listen to that. If you love hard, you need to be sure that this is the person
that you want to be with forever. Yeah.
Because once you give of yourself, and
that's it. It's
I'm
gone.
not gonna get into and deep to that because there are, it's a sensitive space, but I don't feel led to go too far in. Okay. I know this is a hard transition from what we just talked about. Girl, I'm a foodie. What is your favorite food?
Okay. Teriyaki, I like.
Yes.
That's probably my favorite.
You make me hungry right now.
That's my favorite type right now.
So Asian food.
That I get consistently, yes.
Asian food. Like poke bowl, like when we went to get the poke bowl.
I like that. But isn't that Hawaiian? Is that Hawaiian? No, that's not Hawaiian. That's what I had the other day. I just like noodles. I'm a big noodle person.
Like
I like
ramen.
Noodles and meat. Like, with some sauce on it, I'm there. That's what I like.
Yes. Okay, and then your favorite pastime. Like, what do you do for fun? What do you do to relax, to like bring yourself back, like center yourself again? Just to calm yourself down.
Scroll on Instagram like everybody else. That's one activity. But I do like to read. Again, I'm all about educating, so that is common for me to read a book or read
what's one good book? What's the last book you read that was like, oh, this is something that it's going to impact my life?
Okay, why am I drawing a blank on? I'm remembering the author's names, but not the book title, but it's a book about leadership by Kuzes and Posner. That's a book that has literally transformed how I do anything in leadership, because I'm in a lot of leadership roles, so it's always been important for me to learn how to be a good leader. Relationship Goals by Mike Todd and his wife Natalie Todd. That was really good. I just wanted to like get some more information about being single and marriage, and that was like a really good book I read. It really spoke to me. So yeah, that's the last good book I read.
Do you have Facebook, Instagram? Do you have a Twitter? Do you have a TikTok?
All right, so you can find me on Instagram as Jess Wills, WILLS Music. And then also on Facebook, my Facebook page is Jessica A. Williams. So that's where people can find me.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Be blessed.